Hi, welcome to Her Expat Life, the channel that brings you all the latest news and information to advance your global lifestyle as a female expat, entrepreneur, and digital nomad. Today, we have jumped on a live to discuss some interesting information about a new digital nomad visa that has launched. And we've got our founder, Candace, with us. Candace, how are you?
I am good. How are you doing, Alexia?
I'm good. I'm good. Enjoying the springtime that has come to Barcelona. And just, yeah, I'm happy that the seasons are changing. So I'm in a great mood.
Like I said, I will be happy when Turkey gets the memo because it's still very cold here, and hopefully, I'm keeping my fingers crossed that within the next week or so, we will have some actual springtime weather.
I'm sure. I'm sure it's coming your
Yeah.
way. I can feel it.
Yes.
Okay, well, talking about sunshine and springtime and beach time, today we're going to be talking about a country that has launched its digital nomad visa that could be quite appealing to people. And this country is Cyprus. So, Candace, tell us, what do you know about Cyprus and how do you feel about this announcement?
I feel really positive about this new digital nomad visa for Cyprus for so many reasons. Um, right now, a lot of people are choosing to go to Cyprus for so many different reasons. And I know that here in Turkey, quite a few people have actually transitioned and gone to Cyprus due to the immigration situation here.
Mm,
Turkey has definitely made it a lot more difficult for people to immigrate to Turkey. And so a lot of residency permits are getting denied, and people are turning to Cyprus uh, to as a second choice.
mhm.
So I feel that this is very positive for the digital nomad community,
Yeah.
and especially if you are a person that you like island life, you want some ease and flow, you like to be around nature, things like that. I believe that this is going to be an amazing option for a lot of people. And also, they have a very favorable tax situation, which is very nice as well for digital nomads. But I want to know, how do you feel about it?
I'm excited. I'm here for it. I think that for a long time, Cyprus has maybe been overshadowed by neighboring Greece, that normally gets all the attention and the fanfare, and everyone just loves Greece. Duly, rightfully so. But I feel like, a lot of people skip over Cyprus or don't give Cyprus an opportunity. And I think from what I've heard, it's an incredible place for digital nomads. The stuff that I've been researching. It has beautiful beaches, apparently nature, waterfalls, national parks. It's apparently a technology hub as well, a tech hub, which I didn't know.
Okay, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, so emerging tech hub. It's apparently very safe to live in Cyprus, and you've already mentioned a favorable taxation system for digital nomads. So I think it might be the thing that puts Cyprus on the map and gets it more attention in terms of a destination in its own right, and not always being compared to neighboring regions. I think it will be economically quite beneficial also for the locals. The interesting thing about the digital nomad visa is, I think, something that a lot of local people need to realize is in Europe, especially, there are peak seasons when tourists come in. And then
Right.
obviously that's good for the economy. But then in the down times, people sometimes struggle to stay afloat, certain types of
Right.
businesses. And with things like the digital nomad visa, it kind of can help the local economy be more balanced and be more
Absolutely.
sustainable over a period of time. So I think that might help Cyprus as well, just
Absolutely.
economically.
And I
Yeah.
and I think like that's one of the reasons why so many countries are jumping on board with the digital nomad visa is to help to boost their economy. I wanted to circle a little back a bit to the
Yeah.
taxation. I know I was able to find that for digital nomads, it's a flat 12.5%. But were you able to find any information in regards to taxes?
I did. It wasn't very clear, I must be honest. I don't know if it's something that is super, super clear on their end, but what I did find out was if you have a work contract, you have a 50% exemption from income tax for 10 years at a salary level of over 55,000 euros per year.
Okay.
Your first 20,000 euros are taxed at 0%, increasing later to between 20 and 35%. So
Okay.
I don't think it's super clear, but it's like anything having to do with tax,
Right.
sometimes it's better to just chat to a professional, chat to a tax
Absolutely.
consultant. But I do know it is favorable. From all the reports I've been reading,
Yes.
they have been citing that it has favorable tax conditions for digital nomads. So if you are at home thinking about Cyprus as a destination to get a digital nomad visa, we would recommend maybe speaking to a tax specialist in that region. But things are looking positive in terms of the taxation system.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's actually 12.5% is actually quite low for
Yeah,
Europe. Quite
yeah,
low for Europe. I want to talk a little bit about why women should even choose or even consider Cyprus.
hmm.
So, what are some of the reasons that you found for women to choose Cyprus?
Well, safety, like we've mentioned, safety is a big one. Cyprus is quite safe in general. I think it's also quite family friendly. I think
Yeah,
if you have a family, it seems like a destination that's not completely bombarded with the wild side that tourism can sometimes bring to certain regions. It seems
right.
to have a more laid back kind of atmosphere. And I think if you have a family, if you have kids as well, I think it could be an ideal destination. And then in terms of specific places, I did some deep diving into specific regions in Cyprus that could be
Okay.
appealing and different reasons why. So I'll just mention them briefly. Okay, the first one is Nicosia. My apologies for my pronunciation. I did Google how to pronounce these places, but I could not be doing it correctly. Nicosia is the capital city of Cyprus. It has a ton of co-working and co-living spaces. And there are so many things to do, from visiting monasteries, national parks, just nature,
Great.
abundant nature for a capital city, which is amazing. There's Pathos as well. And it was ranked as the best city in Cyprus more than 5 times.
Oh,
So
wow.
this seems to be a big favorite. It's got access to the Mediterranean coast as its main attraction. And it's got modern architecture, beautiful city. So again, laid back beach vibes, but
Yeah.
has everything necessary for a female who needs to stay on top of her work situation, you know? And then there's Limassol, which is known for beautiful beaches, castles, museums, and a perfect combination of history and modern life. So that sounds very appealing.
Yes.
And then two more. Larnaca is a city known for its wine making. You've
Oh,
got
wow. That's always a plus.
that's food
Always
and
a plus.
beautiful food and beautiful sandy beaches. Again, has a ton of co-working spaces and coffee shops. So that's coming up as a firm favorite as well. And then there is Famagusta, which is coming up as a favorite for history buffs. So I think if you're just looking to disconnect, like you mentioned, disconnect
Right.
from the world a little bit, but still be connected enough to be able to be a digital nomad, then Cyprus is a really, really interesting place to be looking at.
Right. And I also heard that there is very open, friendly expat and international community. So I think that that's really something that a lot of women would want to know, is
Mhm.
that you can find a place for you to fit in and build
Yeah,
some sort of community. Because as we know, living and traveling abroad and working abroad, it can sometimes be a little lonely and a little daunting. And you want to know you can go someplace where you can find a community that will welcome you with open arms. And I think
absolutely.
another important factor, and I know that's important for me, is that it has a very mild winter.
Yes.
So if you're one of those people, Alexia knows how I feel about winter. So
I share your
if you're one of those people that you just really don't like a harsh winter, Cyprus has an extremely mild winter, where I think the average temperatures during the coldest months, which would be January, February, I think they're no lower than about 18,
Ooh,
which that's not bad.
that's good. 18 degrees
Yeah,
Celsius, yeah?
yeah, 18 degrees Celsius. So that's
That's
not bad, and
that's
that's like in the high 50s for those of you in the States. So that's something to also consider. Also, they have fast internet. So
yes.
for all of you, that's very important for digital nomads, people working from home. The internet service across the island in general is good and fast. And then, of course, there's nightlife, etc. So I think if depending on who you are, and especially if you like island life, you're
Yeah.
gonna find something that you like on Cyprus. And then for those of you who don't know exactly where Cyprus is located, because I don't think we mentioned that,
No.
Cyprus is one of the larger islands that is located in the Mediterranean region, right below Turkey and not far from North Africa, Lebanon, Syria. So it's strategically positioned, and I think it's also good to note that you can catch so many great international flights from Cyprus. So it's a great hub for you to consider as a woman, because you can get to other parts of Europe extremely quickly, and even if you want to maybe do some shopping, go to the mainland and do some shopping, you can do so usually in under 2 hours. So that's also, I think, a plus of why women should consider Cyprus. Um,
Absolutely. To jump on the back of that, because you
mhm.
mentioned shopping, another thing is that it's quite affordable. The
Yes,
cost of living in Cyprus is quite affordable. Just to throw it out there, the average price of a one-bedroom apartment in the city center is around 730 euros, which is really affordable.
that's
And
great.
one-bedroom apartment just outside the city center is about 600 euros. And then let's see what else. Transportation, one-way ticket for local transport is about €1.50, and taxi for a 1 kilometer distance is about €1.
Right.
So it's affordable. It's affordable, and in the days of us dealing with inflation, the way it's
Yes.
behaving,
Yes.
it's a good destination to be in Europe, and to do so affordably, and to get the benefits of having this island life that is still well connected enough to be able to work as a remote worker. So I
Right.
think it ticks all the boxes.
Yes. And then for those of you who might be concerned about language, Greek is first of all, there are two sides. You have the Greek side of the island and the Turkish side of the island,
Yes.
and that has always been a bit of a political contention. However, if you're concerned about language, lots of people speak English, so Greek is the official language, from what I understand. However, English is widely spoken, so you don't have to necessarily be concerned about that. I
Mhm.
wanted to kind of deep dive into the actual visa.
Yes, the requirements.
Yeah, the actual requirements of the visa, because I think across the board, as we are keeping an eye on the variety of digital nomad visas that are coming out. Some are very affordable, some are out of reach. Some, you can kind of tell what type of people the countries are targeting based on how they're building out their digital nomad visas.
Mhm.
So I think the first thing to note is that the digital nomad visa is open to all non-EU citizens. And it also said EEA citizens who are
Mhm.
employed outside of Cyprus.
Very important.
The income requirements, the minimum income requirements are 3,500 euro monthly income after taxes,
Yeah.
which is actually quite low, I think. I think it's quite on the low end.
Yeah.
And then one of the features for me that stand out for this digital nomad visa is that it's family friendly. So
Yes.
you can bring your family on your digital nomad visa. They are not permitted to work in Cyprus, and you get an initial year. And nomads can, once you stay there for 1 year, you can renew your visa for up to 2 years, including your family. So that is really nice to know.
Absolutely. The family being able to bring your family is a really big bonus for a lot of people.
Absolutely.
It says family members that you can bring are the spouse or partner in a civil union and children under the age of 18. So
Okay.
yeah, just for people to know. And then in terms of things that you might need documentation for the visa, just to quickly
Right.
run through it, people can find more information on this, but just to give people a rough idea of what will be required. Obviously, a valid passport that needs to be valid for at least 3 months after you arrive in Cyprus. 2 passport-size photos that must follow the Schengen visa photo requirements, a completed application form, proof of remote work by showing a work contract or other business documents. You must have the sufficient financial means, the income that you mentioned, monthly 3,500 euros minimum. You must have proof of income by submitting bank statements or pay slips. You must include your CV as well. That must include professional and academic experience, a letter of intent, proof of health insurance, which must have valid medical insurance of 30,000 euros in health and accident insurance during your entire stay in Cyprus, address of accommodation, and a clear criminal record. So,
Okay.
just for people to get an idea of the documentation that will be required, that is everything you need to kickstart your application process.
And I was actually surprised about the CV. That was the one thing that kind of caught me off guard, because I think it makes an assumption that the person is an employee. And I wonder if they make any exceptions for like self-employed people or entrepreneurs who
They must.
might not actually have a CV, but I'm sure it's not if you need a CV, you can get one made. It's not a biggie.
I think maybe the word CV, I think here can be loosely interpreted as probably if you are self-employed, just like a background, a
Yes.
profile of such,
Yes.
like
Yes.
your business. What do you do? Who are your clients? What is your
Right.
work experience? What industry are you in? I think that's
Right.
more the kind of information that they're looking
Okay,
for.
yes, I can see that. And just kind of seeing what your work history has been and what you're all about. So I can see that being
Exactly.
a relative or a relevant part of the package. And then I don't know if you mentioned, but the application fee is 70 euro,
Which is
uh,
so cheap.
which is very low. So
Yeah.
that's another really good thing. And then once you're actually approved, the entire approval process takes about 5 weeks to 3 months. And then once you're approved, you have to attend a meeting at
Mhm.
the Civil Registry and Migration Department. And I'm sure once you're approved, they can give you information about where that is, the times and dates and things like that. So, I mean, all in all, like I said, I'm very excited about this new digital nomad visa. I think women should definitely consider going there. And then I also did a bit of research as far as beauty services are concerned,
Mhm.
and things like that. So you can find um, relevant, relatively inexpensive or affordable beauty treatment services, lash extensions, nails, pedicures, etc. And I actually would like to go to Cyprus. So if I actually go to Cyprus, I will actually do a video on what the beauty scene actually looks like there, because as you all know, my background is in beauty as a licensed beauty professional and salon owner. So I'm always extremely curious about that whenever I travel anywhere. So I
Mhm.
think all in all, it's a great place for women to consider, and including women who have children.
Absolutely. I think it ticks all the boxes.
Yeah.
And I think in terms of European countries that are offering digital nomad visas, it does lean on the more affordable side of things, which is good. I think it allows more people the opportunity to explore it. And there are many, many reasons to love Cyprus. And I think
Absolutely.
also, like you said, it's a very interesting part of the world as well,
Right.
just geopolitically, historically. I think
Yes.
if you spend some time in that region, you might get a more well-rounded view of history and understand a lot more
Absolutely.
intricacies and things. So yeah, I'd love to go. I think it's definitely on my list of potential future must-see places.
Absolutely. And so Cyprus gets a thumbs up from the Her Expat Life team. It's a go. It's a green light.
It's an absolute green light. It's an absolute green light. Before we wrap up, I just want to remind everybody to subscribe to our channel, watch our videos. We try to bring you the latest news on all things that are happening in these kinds of spaces. To let people know, we have done a deep dive video into the Spanish digital nomad visa, which has been a big hit. And we are going to do a follow-up video shortly, because this month the Spanish government has really been fine-tuning the laws and stuff. So as soon as we have confirmed information about this, we will jump on another video and bring you more comprehensive, deep information about this. And yeah, just subscribe to our channel, watch our videos. Please comment. What do you enjoy? What do you want us to discuss? Who do you want to see us chatting to? We have some interesting guests coming up. And yeah, we're just very excited to be of service to our community and to bring you the information that you need. Candice, you want to add anything before we say goodbye?
Just make sure to visit our website, check out our services. We serve female expats and digital nomads who are creatives, entrepreneurs, investors, and we are just here to help advance your global lifestyle. So just make sure to click the links in the information box to join our membership, our global membership, as well as just see the variety of ways that we are here to serve you.
Perfect. Okay, thank you so much for joining us on this live, and keep posted to our channel where we'll continue to bring you any updates on this information. Bye. Thanks, Candice, for joining us. Bye.
Ciao.